Among the mighty ones, they seem like all the heavens bow on thousands and thousands, my people is beautiful. Thousands and thousands. Yes, you were. Oh, I know finally. So go up to
I don't think there's any sound.
First promise I was first came you are from the get-go. I prophesied, came to life, and stood to the feet. But God, you know, always be me. What is the mystery? Since the house of Israel, build the Savior of the Lord, build the Savior, Lord. My spirit.
It's been so long since I've done a live stream. I don't even know how good this is gonna be, you guys. And Zoom has changed some things up. I can't see your chat. That's the other thing when I'm sharing screen. Um, Crazy day, you guys. Hang tight. I'm kind of like in shock a little bit with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And I was watching that live, by the way, you guys. Watching it live, just like with the President Trump thing. However, I wasn't expecting anything to happen. I was just minding my own business. I just happened to be a fan of Charlie Kirk and, you know, following his work, and then happened to see that. And but I've been to that same spot in Orem, Utah, and I was just in shock. I mean, seeing the president almost get killed is one thing, and then how we take that for granted that the whole world didn't witness the president getting his brains splattered all over the place, and in just a fraction of an inch could have been catastrophic. And now it's not a big thing now, but Charlie Kirk, everybody saw what happened to him. That was a catastrophic. And let me tell you something, guys. When I saw him shot live in real time, I immediately knew he was dead. He was gone. That was a kill shot. The way his body contorted like that and being hit in the neck, even if that bullet didn't hit the spinal cord, the concussive force but from a rifle and being shot in the neck would have severed his spinal cord from his brain immediately. And then, of course, all the blood, and he bled so viciously there. 31 years old. I could have been his father. I'm old enough to be his father. So seeing something like that I imagine, what if that was my kid? Right? It's a crazy world now. Some young lady gets stabbed on a bus or train or whatever it was in Charlotte. And then Charlie Kirk gets assassinated in front of everybody. Thousands of people watching. I don't know. It's really disturbing. Something stood out about this, about anything. Let me just ask you this in the chat down there. Did anything stand out about this event to you? Because there's something that just kind of screams there's something not right about this. Particularly the topic. The moment he was killed, the very conversation he was having was about what? Gun violence. Now, either this is just crazy timing, just stupid coincidence, or Charlie Kirk was set up and murdered within a fraction of a second of answering a question about gun violence. Gun violence, not just gang violence, just gun violence. He was answering a question about, the number of transvestite mass murderers, and there have been a lot, by the way. There have been a lot of those. So, but for some reason, that was the line of questioning, and then the number of shootings per year, and then he gets shot in the neck. I saw a commentary from somebody on Fox about how this was not a headshot, this was a neck shot, which tells us this was probably not a trained marksman. It's probably not somebody in the military. And to my knowledge, and from what I'm seeing, it's kind of chaotic still. First they said they got the guy, next they're still looking for him. It doesn't look like that he was a trained marksman. At 200 yards, you can't get a headshot unless you were aiming for the neck. I know. We're speculating here. Anyway, I just saw somebody comment about that. That stood out to me too. It wasn't a midsection. It wasn't a headshot, which says it's probably not a military person. However, whatever. The guy was killed in front of thousands of people, 31 years old with kids. It's just, I don't know. I saw this video on TikTok right here. She makes a good point. Let's look at this. I'm gonna make sure you guys can hear this. Can you tell me down below if you can hear this? I haven't live streamed on YouTube in a long time, but I know over in class when we're doing something, there's issues with.
It almost felt like a cue to me because they talked about transgender gun violence, and then as the guy said shooting or shooters or something like that, you just hear the gunshot, and I'm sorry. It almost felt like
Sounded like it almost sounded like it to me, because they were talking about gun violence. Listen to what she says.
they talked about transgender gun violence, and then as the guy said shooting or shooters or something like that, you just hear the gunshot, and I'm sorry. It almost felt like a cue to me because
That was my immediate thought. Immediately, guys, when I'm following along with the conversation, I'm listening to all of it for 30 minutes because this was like the second person he was talking to. It was like one before that. And this is the next question. Now, I'm not accusing the young man with the question that had anything to do with the shooter, but it just seems like it. It just seemed like it was timed too perfect. I mean, if this is just a coincidence, it's the mother of all. He's talking about gun violence, and he's shot and killed in front of everybody. I'm not buying it, you guys. It was the most horrifying thing. And look at this young man right here. Just like me, I'm watching this thing live. This guy sees it.
Oh my God. Oh my. Oh no.
He's watching live.
No. Oh my God. Oh, I just saw. Oh no. I just saw something. Oh my God. Oh my God.
My reaction was pretty much the same when I saw that. I immediately knew he was gone. I mean, that was a catastrophic kill shot. Even though it wasn't a headshot, it severed his spinal cord from his brain. That's why his body contorted like that, and it lights out. It was lights out at that point. Never mind the loss of blood. That's another thing. The spinal cord was done. I mean, do you understand what a rifle does at range? I mean, hitting a torso is one thing, or ballistics gel. The expansion that happens. This is a very small area. The expansion that happens within that area is catastrophic. The concussion is catastrophic. There was no way he was going to survive that. He had zero chance of surviving that shock. It was immediate. Those that were trying to get him to the hospital, it was futile, in my opinion. It was horrific, you guys, to see that happen. Here's what my governor DeSantis said.
Charlie Kirk. A lot of people in Florida have known Charlie through the years. Casey and I have gotten to know him for over a decade. And he's somebody that a lot of people have.
I don't know how good the audio is on this.
And he was shot apparently in a targeted way. And so we're praying for him and his family. But I think we also have to reflect on the fact that the way to resolve political disputes is
seemingly attacked in a targeted way. You think? You think it was targeted? Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Like I said, the conversation alone, what the conversation was about when he was shot is, I mean, like I said, the timing on it is just, it's not, I don't think that's normal. So any of those investigating, I would look at the person asking the question at that time, and focus on that. Also, I've seen some video of the person on top of the building. And there's also somebody else posting from a cell phone. I think it was a cop who was asking himself he was filming and recording. What is this? Does that look like somebody laying on the building? What is he doing? He was just running across, and now and the whole video is right there. Absolutely, that's the shooter. It's the same kind of thing that happened with Trump. Everybody saw the shooter at first, and then bam, bam, right? Except this was one shot. I don't know, you guys. You know, this is right up there with John F. Kennedy being assassinated and everybody sees it, right? Those kinds of things are traumatic. We don't know how fortunate we are that we didn't witness President Trump being killed on camera that day he was shot. I mean, we really take that for granted. Can you imagine if we had witnessed his head blowing up like a watermelon because the shooter was on point and bleeding out everywhere on live TV? How traumatic that would be to everyone watching. I watched this thing today. I feel traumatized. I haven't stopped thinking about it. Horrific. I felt the same. I came home from work when Columbine was happening, live on TV, CNN's, and I'm watching this young kid go through a busted window off the second story of a library and then fall to the ground. He's just covered in blood. And at first I'm thinking, is this a movie? What is going on here? But no, I'm watching Charlie Kirk give a debate. And by the way, they just did South Park just did a spoof on him recently. That was hilarious. And I mean, everybody was talking about it. Like, you know, who don't like Charlie Kirk? Okay, he's like harmless. I mean, yeah, he's got some strong opinions, and he's very. But why kill the man? Right? It's not like he's a president or he's making policy. He's debating teenage or college people, and to take his life. I mean, what are we doing here? What's going on? I mean, we are in the end times. Thank God he was a believer, you guys. Do you know this? He was the defender of the unborn, abortions, the mutilation of people with their transgender crap. Right? He was an advocate. I should not say this. The one that wraps her. That anybody, I shouldn't say stuff like that. Of all people, forgive me. Folks, I'm really upset about this. Um, this guy was young enough to be my son, and he was a father, and everybody just watched him get killed, just get murdered the day before 9/11. Charlie Kirk died on 9/10, the day before 9/11. Not only did it hit its jugular vein, you're absolutely right, Connie. But I don't think that that kind of wound with a rifle. Sometimes if you got a powerful rifle like a 308 and snipers, listen, you can sever the head. You could decapitate somebody with a 50 caliber. Just firing it near the head, it would take the head off the shoulders. Just firing it, you don't even have to hit the head. The concussive force of that round going by a head will take it off the shoulders. Okay, so I'm 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 thinking this is a smaller caliber, probably an AR-15, something like that, 223 in the neck, and it looked like it hit his spinal cord immediately. The way bleeding out was fix your spinal cord. That's not how it planned. That was another thing that it stood out to me, that it looked like that was just too much of a coincidence. The subject that he was talking about, and then he's dropped like that. And then coordination. So conspiracy and coordination, because if the person involved with the questioning, I mean, to make a political point, can you imagine setting somebody up and asking about certain, knowing you're going to have them killed, they're going to be killed right in front of everybody. I mean, diabolical, bro. Just I did go look him up in the codes, you guys. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard to find all the only thing I want to, I'm sure of it, right? That's the only thing I don't know. I got all the other details. Orem, Utah, assassinated, shot, martyred. My heart goes out to his family, and day in United States, dark day. I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to do a live stream or anything like that, but I was a fan. I don't, I don't even know if my internet's stable. Am I still on? Can you guys still hear me? I don't even know. For almost 17 years now, YouTube is sort of like a place of care for me. So I'm sometimes on here. Um, right now, I'm just in shock, you guys. I've literally been thinking about this since I saw it happen. And it's 10 o'clock here now on the East Coast. I think it was 2:30, something like that. Um, yeah, that's what I'm saying. His wife and children is it's a horrible thing. Selah, I agree. Anyway, here's another one. Here's another one, and I kind of feel your pain there, brother. Listen to this, Scott. If my internet's stable enough. Yeah. Did they take his post down? Because he did have some language. I've been seeing stuff taken down really quickly.
Some deranged fucking person in the crowd. This was a sniper. Shot him in the neck. Bullet hit his spinal column and his artery. That kind of precision is from a fucking sniper. There's a lot of people behind this.
I don't know. I feel you, brother, but I don't know. I don't know if it was a sniper. Snipers will go for midsection and headshots. And that just seemed like somebody that was just trying to get something done. I feel you. Anyway, I had a few of them saved, but they've already erased some of them. Again, dark day. Should have never happened. And they're going to be talking about this a while. Like I said, I do have a code, you guys. I looked up his name because I just generally do that anytime something like this happens. So I want to know what the shooter's name is, because I guarantee you it's going to be here very tight cluster. Really interesting that with Charlie Kirk's name, you've got "Behold my servant, Hine Abedi," here twice, but "Behold my servant, Ubedi," right? The word "shot" is in the red there. Utah is in the yellow, starting right here. This is Utah. And then we have the word that is used for martyr. Here is assassinated. That crosses his name, sharing a resh. Now, I haven't looked at the verses at all. I just looked for this, literally as I'm watching. When I see that he shot, I wanted to see if he was good. What was it? You can figure it out. And so I was already working on this when, yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, it's kind of confusing situation right now. At first, they told us they knew who the shooter was, and as I'm watching the news, it seems like that person was cleared, and now we're back to manhunt. So it is what it is. So I'm sure you've heard. You didn't really need my 2 cents in, but I just wanted to speak on this. This is like losing a brother. I didn't know him personally, but I watched so much of his stuff that you know how it is, you guys. When you watch somebody's stuff, you kind of feel connected to that person. And when something like this happens, you kind of feel it right there. So my heart goes out to his family. Please keep his family lifted up. He got 2 children. I think it's a boy and a girl. Daddy's got, and a very young family. Again, he was only 31 years old. So that's it. That's all I can do, you guys. I'm trying to hold my composure, and I don't know if I can do that anymore. I'm gonna have to go process this. If you guys hear any name or anybody that's been captured or anything, let me know. Let me know, because I'll be looking at this a little bit further in the future, I'm sure. All right. So